All right, so we are going to open up an image in Photoshop. And then within this, what we want to do is use the adjustments down here. You can also find them right here where it says adjustments, to make the color close to what we want. So what we're doing in this is we're making what's called a LUT, or a lookup table, and a lookup table is what we can then use in After Effects or Premiere to color correct all of our images. So you'd have to do this for every major scene change, but since you pretty much have one scene, you should only have to do this once. So these top adjustments are all brightness contrast stuff. These are all color things, and these are all fancy filters. You're not going to use any of those. I'm going to start by just doing a curves adjustment, and you can watch videos on how all these work, but basically I'm just adjusting the contrast to kind of get a look that I want. Okay, I'm going to add let's do a photo filter, which will be colors. So a photo filter takes a color and lets you apply it. So I'm going to do a cooling filter because I want this to be cooler. I'm going to make it pretty intense because moonlight's blue. Okay, now I'm going to add an exposure. And again, I could also add that up here. I'm just doing it down here to show you both ways. So with exposure, I want to underexpose this image, but I need to get some contrast back in here. So let's try and make this darker, but then we still want it to look good. So let's add brightness contrast, and we can up the contrast significantly. Okay. So once we get a look that we're happy with, let's say this is a good night look, what we're going to do is we're going to go to File, Export, and then we say Export the color lookup table. And within this, these are all fine. This is all fine. You hit OK. It's going to ask you where to save it. I'll save it to my downloads. And now in my downloads, I should have a bunch of files that have that name that I just saved this as. So how this is going to work is once I get into After Effects or Premiere, either one, and I use Lumetri color to color correct, you would bring in your whole video, not just one image now, but your whole video. I'm going to just make a new comp real quick. Which one was it? I think it was this one. So with this image, whoops. So in here, we've got this image. I'm going to apply the effect called Lumetri. So Lumetri colors. And again, this is pretty much the same process in Premiere. And under basic correction, there's a LUT. So I go to browse, and I can actually find the LUT that I want to use. So it's, I think it was this one that I just saved. So I'll pick any of the ones that work, and it applies that LUT, and now it would apply it to every frame. Let's bring in, just as a test run, let's bring in the second image and see how it looks on the second image. Most of the time it'll look fine. We're going to kind of edit these so it goes like this, and then pops to this one. Oops. There we go. Okay, so let's apply that same LUT to this one. Even though we edited the other photo, exact same LUT, and we should get a similar look. There you go. So these feel cohesive. They feel like they're the same scene now. Now you can still add more adjustments and stuff in After Effects, but that is how you apply a LUT or a lookup table for your basic color correction.